Welcome to That Seasonaire podcast. I'm your host Gina. Stick with me as I chat to Seasonaires, expats and adventurers across the world sharing their inspiring stories and interesting insights into living and working abroad. Welcome back to part 2 of this 2-part episode with the one and only Jacco Bos. So I'm going to ask you another question from one of your friends.
Let's go.
And this time is Mr. Ethan Morgan.
Oh no. Damn.
He said, in this episode, we get an inside look into what goes on behind the scenes at events such as DIYX Street Jam and Castle Jam, and listen right to the end of the show as we hear how Jacco hopes that his recent involvement with the FIS will have a positive impact on the future of competitive snowboarding. Just a quick interruption to give a shout out to show supporters Palm & Pine Skincare, the award-winning sunscreen brand for the everyday athlete. So, you mentioned there Rock'n'Rail. You have quite a lot of involvement in Rock'n'Rail.
Used to have.
Used to have? I still see you at Rock'n'Rail doing all sorts of stuff. How did you get into that?
So yeah, I just was a rider back in the day, but because of my snowpark shaping, one year I was injured during Rock'n'Rail, and I heard through somebody like, Dutch scene is a small scene, so everybody knows everything.
Yeah, because it originated in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah, okay. We had 10 editions in Netherlands now, in The Hague, on the Grote Markt of The Hague. Quite a venue.
I'm glad you said it.
Yes, because nobody says it right. Don't say it without a Dutch accent.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
But those 10 editions took, I think, 13 to 14 years to take place. But anyway, somewhere in there, I was injured. I think it was my year when I was going to uni or college, whatever it's called. Yeah, and so I knew they needed somebody to shape, and I was, at that time, I've already done my due diligence with shaping, and I was like, yo, I'll help. Like, I'll take care of it. So I was kind of just like one of the shapers and not one of the volunteers that just shovels. And we got talking, then it skipped a year or two, the event. I don't remember exactly, but was always in touch with the main organizers, Rick and Marlon, back in the day. And that, as I developed more snowpark building, got more experience, came back to them. They wanted to see me do more, so I helped them organize the wildcard event one year and again take care of, then with more responsibility, take care of the whole snow setup, and build up and shaping, and during the event judged as well at the same time the event as I did this year, only judging this year in Innsbruck. And yeah, somewhere in between I just tried to help them as much as possible, and mostly because I'm just proud of this event. It's existed for a long time. I think at a certain point it was definitely the staple of European rail jams. It was the most innovative, the most awesome, biggest crowds, best vibes, best rider treatment. Yeah. Just an all-around epic party to be involved in, and with snowboarding as its center point of attention. And yeah, I think in certain ways we've carried on and expanded on that same original vibe or original feeling that you got as a rider now with Street Jam. I think Street Jam is like the ultra version of what rail jams used to be. And we've just taken it to a whole different level. And that's where I spend, I would say, approximately a third of my year's work is now in Street Jam. Yeah. That's my, together with Ethan, Christine, and Chriso, yeah, I can say that's my huge pride at the moment of a culmination of a lot of hard work, a lot of crazy ideas, a lot of fuck it, let's wing it moments and hope for the best.
Street Jam, Castle Jam, which has just been, is phenomenal. Like, it is massive, and I want to say a massive congratulations on this because everybody fucking knows about it. Everybody.
Yeah.
They were talking about it on the bomb hole
for about 8 episodes, if I'm counting correctly now.
Right?
Because I listen to a lot of the bomb holes, and every time it gets mentioned, it's a little butterfly moment of like, God. Really?
Yeah.
Is it really like? Because for us,
so fucking cool.
For us, we have to constantly tell each other like, but we need to realize how big this has gotten because we know every detail in and out before it happens. So for us, everything just goes according to plan.
Yeah.
So for us, I guess the big excitement and the big hysteria of like madness doesn't exist. At least in my experience, it doesn't. And then on the days of, I barely see any riding. I'm just dealing with problems.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just putting out fires left and right, almost quite literally.
Yeah.
Or putting myself on fire.
That's true.
But like, for the people who remember the first year.
Tell us a bit about how the idea for Street Jam came about, and when the idea started, what was the steps to then put it in place? Because it can't be easy. The sort of shit that you guys do, the things that you put on, the things you set fire to, I do not know how you get away with it. So yeah, tell us where it first started and how it's developed.
So, I mean, I was not originally one of the inventors, if you want to call it as such. That's truly Ethan, and he basically concocted it up with...
Shout out Ethan Morgan.
Yeah, Ethan Morgan. Bless him, really. Like, I can positively say there's no pro snowboarder that actually does so much work behind the scenes in their own events. Maybe Travis Rice is one of the only ones with Natural Selection that puts that much effort into their own events. But Ethan is really like, he's a warrior, he's a legend, and people really should not underestimate how much work he puts in. But so he came to me with this idea. He was like, he had spoken to some people to find some sort of head shaper for his event that he was trying to set up. And then when he explained me the idea, I was like, dude, this is what I've been dreaming of since I'm 12 years old. Like, this is everything I've ever wanted to see in snowboarding, and I'll be all in from here till the end. Like, yes, please let me help you. So we went to check out the first spots for the first years, and basically I just denied every single idea he had. Like, no, Ethan, this is not gonna work. Like, bro, have you thought of XYZ?
Yeah. When was the first year?
The year that we were recovering from all the COVID madness, and we had a window of exactly 2 weeks in which it took, or 3 weeks. So from the moment we started organizing was like about 3.5 weeks before event dates. So most people don't know this, but the first Street Jam was tiny budget, on a whim and a dream, and with no time to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it was
and
just
Ethan comes to you with these massive ideas.
Yeah, so he wanted to build a massive like corner jump under the highway.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, but there's no inrun. It's all flat. Like, what do you mean corner jump? You need speed for a jump. You need a lot of speed for a jump. Anyways, without getting too much into details, we a lot of going back and forth, looking at a lot of places, a lot of locations, and also just there's so much to consider in this. Like, in this case, the first year was really tight group. We could not have more than 100 people, then it would be considered an event, which wasn't allowed yet fully.
Okay.
Because it was still some COVID rules, but sports was allowed again. So we were officially just a photo and video shoot.
Oh, wow.
Who happened to attract a lot of people walking by.
So very underground.
Yeah. That's why also the concept of not announcing locations, not knowing where it is, was so alive then, because it had to be. There was no way we could have done it without that. But it just turned out epic, and as soon as we got the spots basically sorted and we knew what we wanted to do, I was like, okay, now you realize I'm not your head shaper. I need a head shaper. But I could take care of almost everything on location, and that's basically what my job has grown into now. If we fast forward to Castle Jam, I have somewhere between 35 to 45 people working with me, for me, however you want to see it. We all make it happen together. In the end, we're one big crew that just has to get it done. Yeah. And that's outside, of course, the people that Christina's working for her, that Ethan needs to do his stuff, and Christo to do his stuff from method design. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes working on this. But the madness of the spots is just, Ethan basically makes a short list of, let's say, 6 spots every year. Then we go there together. He explains me what he sees, what's rideable. And I take it from there. I'm like, give it to me, consider it done.
Yeah.
And then we add in some stuff with sponsor obstacles, like we had this crazy DIY rainbow of battalion, and we just give that to the riders, like put it somewhere, make it stupid and hard to ride, because it should be DIY. But yeah, there's a lot of things people don't know about the effort that is made to make these spots rideable. Like, I've been grinding ledges for 2 days straight, eating so much dust, probably shortened my lung life by at least a couple of years, together with Ethan, mind you. Like, he's out there with us, at least in the first year. Can't claim you're there every day now, Ethan, sorry. But yeah, like, there's so much prep that goes into it to make it look like there's no prep, and it's all loose and madness.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's DIYX, which means do it yourself extreme. Is that right?
Correct. So that came from an older concept of events that Ethan used to do, with basically inviting, I don't know if it's completely open, or at least basically flattening a park, giving a ton of riders all the park obstacles, and say, build whatever crazy shit you want.
Yeah, cool.
And I loved that, the concept. Yeah. I was there as well for the post-visa edition, and I think that's also where Ethan and I connected a little bit more, like, oh, damn, yeah, you do this, you build this, and you're here for the cause and that stuff. So, yeah, Crazy Street Jam has changed my life. I'm more than grateful. Like, this is the main thing I do with my events now. I'm still definitely looking and trying to expand my business in events. I want to do more events. I have my own ideas for Rail Jams in the future. I'm quietly, silently a partner with the FIS World Cup rails that might come in the future.
Cool.
Trying to help them stay on track to actually make it something cool.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, I was one of the most competitive young riders, and street filming never really worked out for me. But the rail jams, they were my thing, and I loved the audience. I loved the showmanship and the riding and for live audience. And I just think that rail jams are a unique way to put a lot of eyeballs on snowboarding, which inevitably will, or eventually will, be great for everybody involved in the sport or in the lifestyle, because more eyeballs means more free shit for us sponsored riders, basically, or more sponsored riders in general, and more events and more cool things to do and more opportunities to take.
That's it.
And if the FIS can do something cool, then I'm down. If not, I'll turn around pretty quick too and be like, all right, good luck, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't mention me. We're good.
For anyone that doesn't know, what is the FIS? Because you explained this to me back along, actually. You might not remember that.
No, I remember the moment you mentioned it. So, the FIS is the Fédération Internationale du Ski, because it's a French-Swiss organization, but they're basically the governing body of all alpine, snowboard, freestyle, all disciplines that is ski and snowboard. So, cross, everything you can imagine.
Yeah. And
they bought snowboarding, or freestyle snowboarding, away from the World Snowboarding Federation, I think it was called, back in, I think this was early 2000. I'm not the historian with numbers, so don't pin me down on it.
I think I remember hearing about this on Donna Carpenter's episode of The Bomb Hole, actually.
Yeah. This was considered the big evil empire taking over our snowboarding world, our disciplines, how they're being run, how the rules are being made, how they're being judged. As a person coming from street riding, I definitely did not take any fancy in the FIS.
No.
Ever. I actively avoided competing in the FIS and chose to ride Q Park's tour, for example, which was a European slopestyle tour that was a lot smaller, a lot less funded, but at least it was an FIS.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's inevitable. Everybody knows if you want to be a pro rider competitively, those are the competitions to be at. And they are trying to bring in a Rail Jam-esque event, or full-on Rail Jams event, because they see also the potential of just more eyeballs on the sport. And I have to say, I guess over the year, somehow the FIS managed to recruit some pretty dedicated and true to the lifestyle, true to the culture people, because those are also the people that want to get me involved. These people that do an amazing job, they try their absolute best to make the best out of what the hand that they're getting dealt for us as riders and for us as the snowboarding community and scene and culture. But that hand that's dealt turns to be terrible cards. So it's not an easy job to be that middleman, and I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to have a voice in what really is crucial if you make these choices that's not going to work, that's not going to be accepted, or, well, this might just work. But then again, the inner super competitive rail jam kid in me, that I wish this discipline was a road or a path to take to be a professional snowboarder. I want to see this happen personally. I have no shame no shame in saying that I want to see this stuff happen. And it's, for me, it's quite ironic because I'm at the same time one of the people making the setup for the most loose, the most insane core community event that exists. But I hope that also makes a statement that if somebody like me is willing to just listen, sit down and talk to them to try and make this shit cool, there's almost no proper rail jams out there anymore. All the rail jams I grew up with, Gothenburg, Stockholm, like hot dogs and handrails in Bear Mountain, like all of them are dead. Like there's nothing really out there anymore. And I feel like Street Jam awoken some things again, but it's still not where it was when I grew up, in snowboarding at least. And I just want to see our discipline back on the map, and I don't really care how, as long as it's done innovatively, the judging is on point, and the riders that we know should get rewarded gets the reward, because that's also not always been the case in recent years, that we've just not, the judging has not kept up with the progression of the rail jams, of the riding and the riders. So that's something I'm very passionate about. I really want to have my say in it and try to do my best for every rider, that it becomes the best show, but also the best experience of competition, that the right people get the right rewards. Or the right type of riding gets the most impressive type of riding, gets the most rewards.
It sounds like you're the man for the job. You
we'll see.
Certainly put in the hours anyway.
Also, I don't care what fancy people think about me, so I don't mind to step on some toes here and there.
Right, so I'm going to ask you another question from one of your friends.
Let's go.
And this time is Mr. Ethan Morgan.
Oh no.
He said, how are you the most calm person on site, just walking blue around like it's a normal Sunday evening in the park, even though you have the most stressful job of us all? And he said, I need that medicine if you have it.
I think it's called insanity. I don't know. This is a question I've asked myself as well. But this is exactly the personality trait I mentioned way back into this podcast that maybe hindered me before and now shows or becomes my talent. Maybe like in a gastronomy job, if you don't look busy enough, you're seen as not working hard enough. And I love high pressure environments. That for me is where I feel most comfortable. When it's calm and quiet, I'm not at ease. So the craziness and the stress and the pressure that comes from Street Jam, that's when the most quiet version of me exists, the most calm version of me exists, and I'm very comfortable in that space. And I think a lot of people struggle to be comfortable in those kind of situations. So for them, it's like, what? How? But for me, it's always been kind of how I function. And on top of that, I feel the responsibility as well that when everybody else in the crew is losing their mind, at least one of us should keep their calm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's not speak about Castle Jam. I did lose my shit at some point.
Did you?
No, I maybe for my standard,
Yeah.
I felt like I was not having it, but still heard from a lot of people the same story, that I just seem quite stressed and chilled at the same time. I mean,
Yeah, it's funny because when Ethan sent me that message, I literally remember being there, and the only time I saw you, you were walking blue. Very casually, you were like, I'm a little bit stressed right now, but I've got to go. Nice to see you. Very polite. You still seem very, exactly that. Very calm, like nothing was going on, but you were like, I've got to go. But
for anybody who doesn't know, Blue is my husky dog. And he's also very chill in high pressure environments.
Yeah, he's literally at the Castle Jam, which is the most mental environment there probably is. Music going on, all sorts, people everywhere.
No, he was epic.
Casually
He did it. He was helping me out.
Going back to the things that you do, one thing we haven't gone on to is coaching.
Yeah,
you're a coach, correct?
Yeah, it's always come around here and there. I had a few year hiatus where I focused more on my writing. But way back in the day, I coached a few young kids when I was also just 18 or 17 myself. Just because I love passing on the love and the passion to the next generation. Like, this is for me something so rewarding. It's just fun to do. It's just fun to hang out with these kids that are so hyped and stoked, and they just want to get out there and ride better every day. And it's I don't know, I think it's just something really fun. And 2 years ago, I wasn't thinking of coaching, not at all. I think I was in the run-up to the 2nd Street Jam at the time. And I got contacted by a Finnish snowboard camp that does international camps that was running one in Tux that was lacking a snowboard coach or trainer or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, oh, I really shouldn't take it. The money ain't worth it. The time I don't have. But something drew me because I didn't coach in a while, and I do really like that situation. I like that environment. So I went and I met this girl from Dubai who started riding in a dome and just had this very similar story in mind when I was 14, or she was 13. And we just clicked, and I felt like there was a lot to offer her from the perspective that I grew up in snowboarding, but also from all the things I've learned in the recent years about the industry, how it works, how you have to be successful, and then of course like the riding itself. We just clicked and we got on very well, and now half of my winter and even in summer I coach her. This girl, she's the first female winter sports athlete from the UAE. That said, that culture is very different as well to ours. So I had a lot of learning, but also just culture shock and getting a lot of reflection as well on our own culture from being there and seeing things through a different perspective. And because I have to understand the perspective she comes from, and the people that are in charge over her career as federations and that kind of stuff. So she's on a very unique journey, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. Sure, she will try to snowboard her very best every single day, but it's more about inspiring and breaking down walls and barriers that were pre-existing for women in that country or in that culture. And on top of that, even breaking down walls for anybody to do a winter sport from that country. I mean, sure, it's the middle of a desert. It's 50 degrees in summer. I've been there in the end of July. It's hot. That's a very big understatement. But I can tell you that since the first time I went to that indoor dome, in my last 10 years of riding, I've not seen such an excited and enthusiastic group of kids that want to just get better and learn and spend their time in the snow as that scene there. I think that really showed to me that sometimes some of the riders here that grew up with mountains in their backyard and are just like fighting for podiums and getting all pissed when they don't get what they want, and I'm like, damn, man, like, you don't know how much you already got just being from here. I thought I had to work hard from it because I lived 10 hours driving away, but this girl lives in a freaking desert in the middle of nowhere, 10 hours flying away from snow, and they're so excited about it. It rekindled also like my love and the perspective of how to appreciate what we do. Just being up on a mountain, being there. And I think as the older you get, the little bit more time you take to look up and notice the gratitude and the life you're living. And
definitely
these kids remind me of that. So I'm very happy to basically be involved, giving them a better snow park to work with, educating people there locally to build better parks, safer parks, so they can progress more safely and progress more. And on top of that, be involved with this one leading athlete, that leading in the sense of she's the only one that has the opportunity to get out here so far and show that you're able to do something in this sport from that background. And again, like, people were not accepting of her as a woman when she started out. People were not accepting that it's, even when we went to the recent New Zealand World Champs, we had some people in the lift line from other countries. Soon as they saw the name of the country on the jacket, like, straight away talk shit about, oh, rich kids, this, that. When this girl comes from quite humble background, and there's upper class, middle class, and lower class in every country. Like, that's no different, and not everybody is rich in every country. And she's just fortunate to have found a way to fund this all and to have me around as well. And I'm just doing my part to make it affordable for them, still somehow survive from little money in general from my whole business, not just from this, because I'm very grateful to what they bring in, and I'm very grateful to work with them. And it's just passing on that fire, but also showing that kind of, I love the impossible situations. Like, look at Street Jam, this girl from the desert. I love the ones you don't expect. That's what's the most interesting challenge for me to work on.
And what's her name?
Amina, but we call her Moon.
Okay.
Amina Al-Muhari.
Oh, wow. Again, glad you said that.
I'm still working on it. I probably butchered it. Sorry, Moon.
Well, we will keep an eye out for Moon on the circuit soon, will we?
Yeah.
Or currently?
She's already around, but still very young, and we're definitely making a lot of progress. Last 2 years was quite foundational work, and now we're starting to see the rewards of it. But she still has a few years to go till we'll really see her name pop out. But as long as she keeps going the way she's going, I'm sure she'll surprise some people down the line.
So again, with your business, you do a million different things. Which how do you balance it all?
No, I just burned myself out the last few years. That was my tactic. Burn yourself out for like 9 months a year, and then cry and surf a lot in summer. Okay, good. Noted. Good. I needed the advice. So thanks for that. This year I've decided to prioritize things a bit. In recent years I've dropped filming as a main focus. The team management, like I said before, it's quite a passion project, does not take much of my time. What kind of things do you need to do as a team manager? I guess what everybody expects is, I look out for the talent, who we new people that we would like to get on. But also, in the end, I need to manage a budget that gets divided, but also what does the brand get in return from it? Which definitely, if you have close ties to some riders that are maybe not going to get what they got previously, it's tough conversations, and it's decisions that you ultimately don't like making. But there's this balance between looking out for the riders and looking out for the brand, and I try to look out for the riders in the best way to give them a piece of advice through either Gigi, myself, or Harry that works the social media side. We try to guide them, and we are very clear about we're a small brand. We're not going to be able to pay any of you guys a professional snowboarder salary. So if we are your stepping stone to a bigger career, a bigger sponsor, dude, we're going to be hyped for you. We're going to, where you tell us like, yo, I just got a massive deal, we're going to be so happy for you.
You want
like,
people
then
to progress.
We did our job, and in the time we worked together, we worked together. That's it. That's what you did it for. So we're definitely not trying to hold anybody and riding wise back. We're just trying to lift them up and give them a bigger platform to be seen on. And yeah, we see ourselves, for the people that want to stick around or that stick around, we're so thankful and grateful. And my job basically when I got into this job was to look for a bit more variety in our riders, to open up the brand or showcase ourselves that we don't just make freeride boards. Because I'm a street rider, and the story of how I got on the board very much has to do with my opinion of why I want to work with them. And I was basically unhappy with the brand I was riding for. I said, thank you for the years of support. I want something new, something fresh. I had a big shift. This was after my street filming years that I spent all my money on and wasn't the greatest experience. And I didn't get the results. So I was like, okay, start with a clean sheet. No more sponsors. Start over. I had a shop that was happy to support me. Tried everything they had on stock. And this one board that was not the size I used to ride, not the shapes I used to enjoy, none of it made sense, but it was by far the best board I tried of anything. And that happened to be a Happy Place from Slash.
Okay.
And as a dome rider, Slash would be the furthest away from cool brand at the time. And that's why I got thinking, like, eventually 2 years down the line, I'm start as TM. I'm like, we have to find a way to show that, like, we have boards for everything. Like, Gigi is a crazy, evil genius when it comes to snowboard tech. That's his passion. People don't know this always, but he is such a dedicated snowboard constructor, technician, that when he starts on the technical side of snowboards in a meeting, we're like, oh shit, we just lost 40 minutes of our day. Okay, sit back and
Very
wait
passionate.
for it to end. And it's in all best intentions, because you learn so much as well from him. But it's incredible how he has this feeling to predict for different disciplines, different needs of a board, what works. And I truly can say hands down that the product speaks for itself. Anybody who has switched or tried one, just ask their honest opinion and you'll find out. I don't need to make more of a sales pitch than that.
Yeah, I'm like, Gigi can, I'll send in my bank details.
No, but so yeah, that's basically my background. I was so surprised, and I was like, more people need to know about this, and there needs to be a more diverse, I hate that word, but the more variety in the riders to show these different disciplines, that they're all being supplied for. And yeah, now we have some really cool people on the brand. We have some street riders, some more women, some bit of everything, and all over the place. And yeah, I don't know, what else can I say about team management? It's
I think you smashed it. You've nailed it.
Yeah, we just try to make the most fun for the riders, and at the same time create some marketing content for the brand. That's about it.
Awesome. And with all the things that you do, what's the most difficult thing that you do? It's got to be Street Jam.
Street Jam. No, Castle Jam. By far Castle Jam. I'd rather do 100 Street Jams than Castle Jam. Which, there's so many loose moving parts. And it's people, because of the style of the event, people don't know that it's a year of planning. Like we start a year in advance, and we've started now for next year. Yesterday was our first meeting for next year, and we're, I think, 4 weeks after Castle Jam now.
Yeah.
Just enough to kind of mentally recover and do our rehabs.
The Castle Jam COVID.
Oh, I had it before. I had it during build-up.
You
No. I got it over with, so I didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah, all right, patient zero. Anyway,
damn.
the one thing that is interesting, obviously, Castle Jam was in Austria, so was the Street Jam last year. But when it came to filming, Austria not so stoked on the filming in the spots that you were years ago, and now they're all like, yeah, set fire to shit. How'd that happen?
Yeah, we don't tell them.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
No, obviously. It's a different story. You have a concept to present, whereas when you show up to a street spot, you're just a shithead vandalizing private or government property. As simple as that, you know? That's street riders for you right there. But we obviously come in with a concept. We have a lot of meetings with city board members, the head of chief of police, chief of fire department. These are you can cut the tension with a knife in these rooms.
Oh, yeah?
I can tell you, these are not up until you close off the meeting. Then suddenly everybody smiles and shakes hands, and in the hallway walking out, everybody's friends.
Okay, cool.
But where you walk in and they're all sitting there, they're ready to take your head off.
Yeah,
and it's
I could see the scene where there's all these officials, all these police, all this government lot, and then you lot, scruffy snowboarders walking.
And like, we do our best, but we still got the long hair and the hoodie on, you know, like, fuck.
I love it. Right, so we better move on to the questions. We'll do another episode about how you. Do you know what the thing that I find just incredible about all of this as well? Just quickly going back to your business, is that you do all of this stuff and you've managed to make a business out of all the parts of your passion, which is snowboarding. So everything is around that, and you didn't go to college or uni, or you did for 3 months in a completely not really
nothing to
related.
do with it.
Yeah. Like, that is really quite some achievement.
Thank you, first of all. I appreciate that. Yeah.
This is just pure experience, and it just goes to show to anyone there.
Wing it, like wing it. Recently, I saw a lot of, silly enough, a lot of these short little snippets on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. But it really is as simple as, if you wait to start on something because you're waiting to be good at it, you're never going to start on it or be good at it. So,
and a podcast was born.
Yeah. I mean, and so was Street Jam. Yeah. Like, none of us, I had some minor event experience, and I just threw myself in the deep end. And I've lived life like this because I just don't think that, for me, at a very young age, that educational system I was in already seemed, in my opinion, completely broken.
Yeah.
So I did not have a very strong belief in the system, for me, at least as an individual. I think for a lot of people it does work. It offers a easy and straightforward way of living. Don't know if it's the happiest way of living for anybody, but if that's easy and comfortable, go for it. I don't want comfortable.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I think a lot of people who have an entrepreneurial kind of mindset had a similar experience.
So for me, this was first year of high school. That's how young. I was 12. Like, I very vividly remembered, like, I really came home after, let's say, the first month of high school, and I asked my parents, like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Yeah. Like, this doesn't make any sense of, I'm not going to learn anything that I'll ever use, and there's so many things I need to learn for life that nobody's teaching me. Like, what's the fucking point? Fast forward many years, for most of the time that I was doing seasons, I had no clue where the hell my life was going to. I was very lost in many ways, to get real. Even when I started my own company, that was just out of the desire and the hatred of working for somebody else and being told what to do. And most deeply, not being able to ever work at my full capacity, because every time you would, they would be like, yeah, but that's not how we do it. I'm like, yeah, but how you do it sucks.
Yeah.
So if I'm not allowed to do that, fine. But after 3 months of working a job, I'm sick and done of it. And you can't keep doing that. You cannot live in this getting a new job every 3-4 months. Yeah. Even though I was most of the time a very valued worker in any
for sure.
in a job environment I had, because this is the competitive nature I have. I always wanted to be the best worker, the highest value waiter, the best in any team, the best of all these things. I wanted to dominate always.
Yeah, you want to do a good job, and you want to be the best.
And I hated not being allowed to work in my best capacity. This is where this deep craving for starting for myself came from. And then it's like, oh shit, I really have no idea what I'm doing. And this constant pressure of like, dude, you're so not qualified. You should really not be doing this. That then drives me to work harder, think of more things, be even better in the jobs that I do. And eventually you just have to trust in that as long as people are hiring you, as long as you have returning customers or clients, you're probably doing a good job, and just keep going and keep that idea as well that you're never great.
Yeah.
And always be willing to work harder than everybody. Because I think I have it all to owe to that. Like my dad truly raised me with like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like he wanted me to be in the educational system, get my degree. They wanted me to get a PhD and all that shit. But in the end, like whenever did anything outside of that, they're like, as long as you just work harder than anybody you can imagine. And that's what I really took on. And I think, again, if you want a comfortable, easygoing life, don't do this.
Yeah.
It's not for you. Don't do it. But if you want to live something quite unique and not the same as anybody else, get ready to be uncomfortable and go for it. And start at the bottom. You can only start at the bottom. Yeah. Like just this last few weeks, I've started climbing. Terrible at it because I have 2 reconstructed shoulders. I cannot reach above my head.
Oh, Jesus.
But I'm in love with that process once again, that I'm completely at the bottom of a learning curve. And this is something you have to fall in love with to be terrible at something, and to fall in love with falling on your face and laughing it off rather than getting frustrated from making mistakes.
Yeah. Just remind me of your age again.
I'm 28.
Fucking 28.
Yeah.
I wish I had figured shit out like you did at 28. However,
maybe sounds better than it is.
No, it's like, it's really, really impressive what you've done so far, and I'm sure you're going to go on to do even more stuff. So yeah, really, really cool. But now we should probably move on to the questions. We've been going for some time. If someone was planning to do only one season, where would you recommend them to go?
Laax. Just Laax.
Okay. What was your best and worst job, and why?
It could be the same thing, honestly. Shaping in any snow park. Worst was more because of personal experience, not in snow park shaping, but best by far snow park shaping, because you're first and last on the mountain. You are just there outdoors. You're in every condition. You learn to ride better than anybody, basically, in a very short period of time. But also you have these really magical moments with nature. The amount of times I've sat through sunset just looking into the abyss of a forest or off a mountain, it is an experience you never get tired of, even when you have it every single day. And I'm somebody who believes we've disconnected very far from our true nature with nature. Yeah. And these moments, they'll always stick with me. It make me value life and appreciate the place we are in and be present and all that kind of stuff a lot more.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's what, and then the enjoyment of having a park and people appreciating your snow park is always good fun.
Yeah, awesome. And the worst also.
Yeah, the worst in what you get out of it financially, and the fact that it's a terrible job on your body.
Yeah.
Like I've doubled a tennis elbow from that job.
Whoa.
And I had that at 21.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
it's tough, especially if you love to work your ass off and you don't know what chill means.
Yes.
So that might have been my own mistake too.
I think I know the answer to this one. What do you prefer, winter or summer seasons?
You'd think winter. But I do like my surfing too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my summers are chill. Like I don't work. I just hang out with my dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I go surfing, but nah, winter.
Okay.
Still like the cold more than the heat.
Yeah. Anyway, I think you've answered this one. Where was your favourite season and why?
So my first season in Laax, definitely. Most riding, best times, best parties, best friends living with, and coolest flat, everything.
Amazing.
Freedom.
In your opinion, what's the best thing about season life or being a seasonaire in general?
I enjoy the switch of half year,
Mm-hmm.
switch of environment, switch of location,
Mm-hmm.
switch of hobbies, switch of attention. For me, it gives me time to reflect and also like start on learning new skills
Mm-hmm.
and working on other hobbies that are not for making money.
Yeah, yeah.
That are not for survival. And yeah, that's and also you meet so many people all the time. You're constantly meeting new people, and I truly love that. Like it's such a huge community you get around you, and eventually, of course, it narrows down to people you truly connect with that will stick around for much longer in your life and have much more meaning.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun to constantly meet people that you share this passion with, you share this lifestyle with, and have a great time together.
Yeah. We've heard a lot.
Trying
Full
to
stop.
keep it short now.
Can you tell us about a challenge or difficulty you faced during your season journey, and what did you learn from it?
I would say, because I was mainly focused on the snow side, switching to summer always feels like you're a little bit lost. Like you don't really know what your place in the world is, what you're supposed to do. This has put me into some really dark times as well. And eventually you just need to realize that there's more to life than snowboarding. However much we loved it. Also because I came from a dome, snowboarding never stopped for me. Like it was always snowboarding until suddenly, let's go surfing. And then my life completely changed. And then summers were not always making the most sense, because if it was flat spell for 2 weeks, that was terrible time. Like then made no sense to me what I was doing there, why I was there, not working, not doing anything productive. But yeah, that's realize that you can enjoy being wherever you are, doing whatever you are doing, and take time to look around, breathe in, breathe out, and see the beauty in everyday life as well.
Yeah.
It's where I focus on my dogs and giving them a cool life, and that fulfills me in different ways.
What's one thing you wish you had known before going on your first season?
You're going to get paid shit. You're probably going to live in houses you will never want to remember.
We've all stayed in a crack den.
Yeah, it's part of the season
It
life.
is part of the season.
You got to survive a season in a crack den. Come on. Otherwise, you're not a real seasonaire.
Are there any opportunities or unlikely stories that stand out to you that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't have left your home country?
Street Jam.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Ethan. That's it. Street Jam changed my life. Being asked to do such an event, it was the biggest opportunity ever. I took it with both hands, and here we are with, last I checked, we've clicked over 1 million views on Castle Jam video, which I think is quite extraordinary.
That's
just again,
unbelievable.
It's not what we're hunting for, but it's not the goal of the event, but to know that so many people have watched it, appreciate it, are enthusiastic about it, it is such a statement to our efforts, and such a reward to know that it's being taken on like that. And biggest opportunity by far, and we'll see how long this ride rolls.
Yeah.
We have a lot of plans still coming. A lot bigger than people will expect.
Oh, really? Oh, God. That sounds very exciting. But yeah, I mean, what an achievement. Over 1 million views. That is unbelievable.
For an event recap. Yep. Pretty extraordinary.
Really, really cool. Throughout your travels, which place feels most like home to you?
Laax.
Laax
There's
fanboy.
this thing when I drive into Laax, and it's every single time when I arrive and I see that little peak of fucking galaxy poke out as I drive into Flims. I know exactly which corner. I get butterflies.
Yeah.
And I don't have this anywhere else in the world.
That's amazing.
And I have it every single time. And I don't know, I've had it since I was way younger. I started going there when I was 13.
Yeah.
So I've only missed the COVID years since I was 13. I've been there every single year for at least 2 weeks, if not a month or a whole season. And again, if I could afford it, I'd live there.
Yeah.
But it's, as somebody who's self-employed within European EU, forget about it.
Yeah.
Unless, again, because if you work in snowboarding, you're not there to make the money. You're not there to get rich. You're there to live a life, be part of it, and enjoy the time you have on this planet.
100%. When you're away, what do you miss most about your home country?
I choose to never live in my home country on purpose, so I want to say nothing. I guess I should say my parents. My sister moved out to New Zealand, so she ain't there no more. Okay. Maybe I would love to say dome riding, but it just isn't where it was when I grew up, and the parks are not what they were. The community is not what it was, and like I missed that era of it, but it doesn't exist no more, so it's not there to miss currently.
Yeah, fair.
Sadly, really sadly.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Just ride for fun. Just do it exactly how I want to, and not try to please everybody with peer pressure. And
did you find yourself doing that a lot?
Oh, only.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Only. But again, that's the part. Some part of snowboarding that I enjoy is doing that showmanship stuff. But to know how to do that within what you think is cool and what you think is enjoyable, or what you think is expected or seen as the most cool thing to do, those are two different things. And eventually the second burns you out as a rider. Like, if you can't keep up, you slam because you're not truly committed to the tricks, and that's the most dangerous situation. So yeah, I think I have the most injuries owed to that, not riding to how I want to ride. Yeah. But hey, no regrets. We live and we learn, and I still have my days where I send it like an absolute idiot that thinks he's 16 and invincible. So they're rare, but they happen still.
On the topic of advice, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received, and what's the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
I think the worst piece of advice is not so much advice, but more following the trends of the snowboard community and scenes in partying too much, enjoying certain herbs too much. It just takes away from how much you can ride, and how much you can do what you truly love. That's definitely, I think, the worst part of my human experience in the seasons. And the best piece of advice, there's so much. There's so many that are so valuable that it's really hard to pinpoint. But I think for me, it's something that didn't come that long ago, and that is to understand your own self-worth to the point where you don't feel the need to constantly prove yourself to others. And I think that's a little bit bigger than just Seasonaire's life. Yeah.
We talk a lot about mentors on the show. Did you have any mentors in your journey?
I hope I'm not going to hurt anybody by saying not really.
Fair enough.
Maybe, no, saying that now, there's one person that, even though we were best friends traveling together, and I would not have seen him in that sense of mentor, like he has more experience than me in this specific thing we're doing, but he had an outlook on life that taught me so much, and that's my friend Dylan Nordet. Now lives in Zurich. He used to ride for Salomon on Europe team and stuff, and he had a lot of perspectives about being your true self, not caring about what people think, taking life as it comes, that kind of stuff. That really shifted my mind on some really important times, and we had a good back and forth about being there as support for each other in some difficult times, both directions. And that's the only person I could say that they showed me some things in life that I needed to learn.
Awesome. Well, shout out Dylan. Do you have any quotes or sayings that you live by?
Yeah, I remember this question on list.
You can skip it if you want.
No, this is what I love. There's one thing that I loosely translate from Dutch, but it's something we've used in the community, and it's basically just a form of fuck it, just send it, but it's don't be a pussy. Like whenever you're up on the top, like I said, just mentioned, if you're not committed to the next new trick, you have to be 100% sure when you drop in, and you have to ask yourself, like, come on, do I want this? Yes, then stop being a pussy and fucking go do it. And I've had that thought with a lot of aspects of life. Before you asked, like, how did I do all these things without education? Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want from life? Do you want this extraordinary thing? Do you want this special lifestyle? Do you want this control over your life and your freedom? Then fucking stop being a pussy and start working on it and start doing it, and say goodbye to your job, say goodbye to your bosses, and make it work. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be nice always, but you'll get there as long as you believe in it and work hard. So it applies to more things than you'd think on the surface.
I'm going to be handing in my notice tomorrow.
Sorry.
And how would you say that in Dutch?
Ni mythe. No, that's with some slang there too.
Do you have any books, movies, podcasts, or publications which you can recommend to our listeners?
Bombhole.
Yeah, we love the bombhole.
If you have anything that you want to get an insight into professional riders, but also just this extreme sports industries, snowboarding more specific, but there are some other podcasts there about even art creatives and there's so many things, like Freestyle Motocrosser, one of the best skaters. Like there's tons of things there that there's so much to get an insight of how this industries work and how you could get a job, how you could work yourself up in these brands, and how you get in contacts and these kind of things. So I find that a really interesting Bombhole podcast and videos. Go check out Castle Jam.
Yeah, definitely. Here's to the next million. Marglender's favourite question. What's one thing you take with you everywhere you travel, or do you have any travel hacks?
My dog.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My beanie.
Beanie? Always got a beanie.
Live with the beanie.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Travel hacks. Always make sure you have a plastic bag to have your snowboard socks, dirty laundry for. You do not want to mix that with any of your other clean laundry. It will never be the same again.
Excellent advice. That's a new one as well. So awesome. Overall, what's the biggest lesson learned from living and working abroad?
Don't let society dictate what's a normal life.
I like it. That's the quickest answer you've done.
And maybe one of the most meaningful as well.
It really got me there. Is there anything that seasonal life has brought to your current life?
Everything. I only live by seasons. This is my normal.
That's it now. It's your MO.
There is no normal life anymore. What do you mean?
Yeah. Perfect.
Never going back.
If you hadn't have gone and done your first season, or hadn't have left your home country in the first place, what do you think you'd be doing now?
Truthfully, darkfully?
Go on.
5 foot in the ground.
No!
I was in a terrible place back then. But no, more realistically, I wouldn't be able to tell. This was always my path to be. I never wanted anything else. I knew this from very young, and of course I didn't know how it would play out.
Yeah.
But staying in Netherlands and getting a mundane desk job or such was never going to be acceptable to me. Maybe I'd end up, I don't know, at some kind of sports instructors for some kids somewhere. I have no idea.
No.
I would just be able to randomly guess things, but
this was the path, and that's what happened, and it was always meant to be that way.
No way to look back.
No, exactly. Is there anyone you would like to nominate to come on the show and have a chat with me?
Yeah, I want to nominate Veronique Hansen. I think fellow Dutch writer, good friend of mine, but also has an incredible backstory and has done a lot of seasons and a bit further away than your usual guest, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah?
She spent about 8 seasons in Canada.
Oh, cool.
Something like that. Maybe 7, don't get me wrong. And yeah, before that, she was always a competitor in Netherlands and doing rail jams and all that thing. And now she's here around in Innsbruck since a couple of years.
Awesome. And what's next for you?
Yeah, I'm on to the next DIYX event.
Yeah.
Our preparations have started already. Of course, can't drop too much information, but there's something happening. Hopefully, as always, sponsors pay.
They will.
And yeah, I'll be coaching throughout the rest of the season, on and off, and maybe I'll film some riders here and there as well. Do some little edits and stuff like that, just to fill some time. And I'll be hanging around Innsbruck from the 2nd of February. Finally get the keys to my new apartment, and looking forward to live here all year round, which still sounds very scary and crazy to me. But I'm sure I'll escape in summer somehow.
You'll be going surfing, no worries.
I'm picking up downhilling, so that's
great.
Are
you?
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere. You're going to be in Innsbruck.
Yeah, that's a point. Pick up a hobby that I might actually enjoy because it's dangerous enough.
What's one parting piece of advice for anyone thinking about becoming a Seasonaire or starting a new adventure?
Just let yourself get carried away. Like, let it all happen. It's fuck. Life is so much fun when you just kind of let things happen. And I've always been a really plan again, and then as soon as you arrive, throw the plan in the bin and see what happens. Let things happen as they're meant to happen. Like there's so many experiences to have, and most of them are positive, some of them are negative, but you always have a lesson out of that and turn it into positive again. So awesome. Just let shit happen and fuck shit up.
Let shit happen and fuck shit up. I love it. Jacco, it's been an absolute pleasure. Well worth the wait. And
thank you.
But honestly, at every event you've stopped and had a chat with me when I've asked. You've been very humble. You've been very generous with your time. And I just want to say a massive thank you for that, because at these events, I very much so feel out of place because I'm just this random little girl with a little podcast. And so it means so much that you're so cool about it. So thank you so much for chatting to me before, for chatting to me today. And hopefully at some time in the future, we'll get to catch up again and you can tell me what you've been doing next.
Well, stop making me blush.
No, thank you so much. It really is. Thank you. It really is a pleasure.
Yeah, always down to support anything to do with snowboarding.
Not only an overachiever, but a genuinely lovely guy. Thanks again to the legendary Jacco Bos for coming on the show today. As always, thanks to Mike at Mike Sports Bar for the studio space. Thanks to sponsors Dope Snow. Thanks to Mondo Wave for the music. And thanks to you guys for tuning in. See you all again next time.
Can't say too much just yet.
Yeah. None of this is going to get you in trouble, is it? Do I need to edit any of this out?
I like to. We could drop some snippets here and there. I don't think too many. As long as the core doesn't hear too much about it, we're fine.
I'll do some editing.
No, but